podcast. What's going on with your ratio? How you feeling?
Hey man, how you doing, bro? I'm feeling good. Episode 72, feeling good. Look, man, nothing's worse than driving by a white homeless guy. I'm on the way here. This real quick. I'm driving by a white homeless guy. He's tall, he's in shape. I'm like, bro, put on a suit, assume the role, do something. But yeah, I'm doing great. I was on my way here and I saw that. How you doing, bro?
I feel good. I feel lighter. You know what I'm saying? Your boy done dropped 12 pounds since the new year. What we talking about? I
Yeah,
like
man.
that. Been going to the gym every day, eating clean, feeling more energized and more into it, staying consistent, which is really important. And yeah, I've been on the road, traveling and whatnot, and getting ready for Valentine's Day.
Yo, CDK Horatio, listen, does it feel like every 6 months CDK has this whole juice thing cleanse? We done been through this shit at least 3 times. Tell him this time to hold it. We just gonna make this a full lifestyle change. You know what I'm saying? Because you are the most dieted nigga I ever seen in my life.
Hold it off of man, try to get that summer body right. But no, like you said, hold it. Yeah, you definitely gotta hold it.
Hell yeah. See, I've committed to my look, man. I was bigger than I am now. So anything that was not what I weighed in high school is like amazing to me. So it's like I really started off, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, I'm never really gonna get as big as I was. So I'm like, hey man, I'm doing good. But speaking of white people, let's move on. Shout out to Shane. And this is not specific to one person, but just I want to shame all the people. If you're in a public space and you see somebody and you have your stuff around, and you say to that person, hey, can you watch my stuff? I don't like that. I was sitting and this random lady walks up to me. She goes, hey, I'm about to go to the bathroom real quick. Can you watch my stuff? Now I'm responsible for your stuff. I don't like that at all. I don't know. I just didn't like that. As soon as that happened, I wrote it down. Watch my stuff, because then she's in the bathroom. She takes a long time. I'm like, damn. Now I'm responsible for this lady's stuff. And what if I turn my back and somebody walks upon and steals your stuff? Now I'm responsible for your shit. Now you mad at me like, oh, I told you to watch my stuff. It's like, I don't know. What you think about that?
No, I had that happen to me last night at the Mary J. Blige concert. But it was a friend that I kind of knew. Well, actually, his wife, and she was like, "Oh, watch my jacket real quick." And I was like, "We was about to go get drinks," but now I'm like, "Damn, do I take the jacket with me to go get drinks? Do I
Right.
just send one of us? Like, how does that really work?"
Now it's your responsibility. Now you're like, damn, if this don't work out, I mean, if you just feel like you feel responsible for her stuff, especially if they're gone for a long time. Now you can't move. Now I'm like, I don't know. I don't want
Right.
People,
That's
look,
exactly what I did.
yeah. And I was the only black person in the room, so I felt like she was coming up to me to be like, hey, I'm scared that you're gonna take my stuff, so I'm gonna ask you to watch it, so that if I did, then you won't have no excuse. But yeah, what you got, bro?
Yo, shout out to well, I'm kind of going something off similar off that. This past week I was on tour, right? So I'm dealing with the same people for about 3 to 4 or 5 days, and knowing traveling with men versus traveling with women or like a mixed group is two different things. Traveling with men will have your ass starving all day, eating bare minimum, eating bullshit. When we travel with women, especially on the company
Okay,
card,
I'm gonna defend the men, though, CDK. I'm gonna defend the men because you saying traveling with men, but traveling with women will have you doing a whole bunch of unnecessary ass shit all day. Like, it's the flip side where guys don't plan at all and women plan too much. You be like, bro, can we just chill out? So I get what you're saying, but you need a good balance. And if you have good male friends, like a good friend that's a guy that can like plan stuff, that's how you make a good guy trip. But my fault, keep going.
no, I'm kind of like that guy that's like, nah, okay, we're going here. Like, let's go ahead and get this done. Like, because everybody's like, what you want to eat? Well, I'm not picky. I don't really care. I
Well, I
don't really
mean,
care.
it don't matter
Nah,
to
no, no,
me. Shit,
nah.
whatever y'all want.
Steak
Nah,
48. We go. That's where we going.
yo, it's important to make a decision. But no, I don't like how you just came up here because I'm gonna go with the flow type of guy all the time. And I tell you, it's so much fun when you just see where life takes you. Women be so like, well, no, I want to do this, I want to try this, and we gotta hit this by 2:30, and we gotta do this. Like, let's just see where it goes. We could meet somebody that we weren't even planning on meeting, and now they taking us here, and you won't be thinking that. What you think?
No, low key. Okay, boom. I was at the bar on one of the days, Tuesday maybe, for the tour, and I had went to the bar just to get one drink and going back to my hotel room. Ended up meeting this old head there that went to A&T in like 71. His dad built Crosby Hall or some other stupid shit, right? And this man, we end up connecting, and after we connected, we find out that we both went to A&T. He ends up buying me like 4 or 5 other shots, and we stay at the bar. And he really gets into like his whole bag as far as like what he does on a corporate level, and just like being able to like you said, like I expected to go down there for one thing, stayed a little bit longer, met a couple other people at the bar, and that's how real connections are made. Like that was the first time in a long time that I just like had a sporadic moment that actually meant something to me and had some type of substance to it. Just based off of just like you said, going with the flow, not really having a plan and just moving around. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and you can't plan that type of stuff. Like that's the type of stuff where it's like, but yeah, you can't plan it. If for some reason, it's like if you wanna, you can't plan meeting somebody and y'all have good interaction. It's like so when you try to overly try to control things, that's why I feel like it can happen. But obviously, like you said, you can't just be out there because we definitely been on trips where you have the best intention, but nothing happens. You're like everybody's just bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? Like waiting around, waiting for, like you said, for a CDK to make a decision on what we're gonna do. So you do have to have, you know what I'm saying, both. All right, let's move on. Did you see the story about the fat lady, the rapper, who's showing Lyft or Uber, one of the ride
And
sharing apps?
he should have denied her ass. Yep, as
Look,
he should have.
that's on, but see, that's on the rider though. Because when you try to go up and you trying to tell somebody that hey, I'm closing it because you're big, whatever. You think it's not gonna be no problems. You think they're gonna be like, okay, cool, I understand. No, and especially like yo, fat people with confidence, bro. You have to literally move out their way, bro, because they don't play, man. Like we be thinking that these are the fat people of old. Fat people aren't the same as they used to be as far as like you know how like we used to joke on fat people, whatever. It's like it's not the same now. It's better with people are better with body image. People are better with a lot of these things. So you just can't go how fatty. You're not getting here like how you did, how you used to do in 2003. Not the case anymore, right? You really got to respect them. So what should have happened is when you pulled up, you see the girl, you go, you just pull off. You just drive off.
Whoa.
You pull up, you don't say nothing. You cancel the ride. Listen to me. You cancel the ride, and then they go, and then she texts you like, "Oh, what happened?" You say, "Oh, I had an emergency. I had to use the bathroom." Da da da. Because you know your big ass should have ordered the truck. You know you should have ordered the truck, but it's okay. As the driver, I'm gonna make the decision. I'm gonna make, as you said, as CDK said, I'm gonna make the decision for you. All right, I'm gonna make the decision, and I'm dipping. But as after this came out, this kind of also is kind of weird though, because I'm starting to think this is like a publicity thing, because she's like a rapper,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's
No, for sure.
immediately after that, it's clips of her performing, and she's falling down, it's like making like an embarrassment of herself. Again, 2025, we are shaming. This is Trump's America, guys. All right, we're not in Biden's. We're not in Biden's America anymore. All right, we can say what the fuck you want to say without being politically incorrect. Like I said a couple weeks ago about Dave Blunt's, I'm the same energy I have for Dave Blunt's, I have for this lady as well. All right, the same energy. I don't like fat rappers trying not fat rappers like we talked about this, like the Big S the Plug or whatever. Those are cool guys. These are guys that I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the guys who use their insecurities to to really make other people feel comfortable. Truly, that's really what you're doing. The Dave Blunts or whatever, you're making people feel like, oh, I'm not terrible. I can jump around and move. I'm not like this fat ass on the stage, and that's what you're doing. But they're so used to doing it because they've been the fat person their whole life, and that's kind of. I'm telling you, man, you get comfortable in being like a joke, and that's exactly what I get from this girl. But if she wins this lawsuit from Lyft or Uber or whatever, shout out to her. I mean, that can using your weight to, and they'll look at it as a disability. So either way, I think she should come out with the win on this, whether it be fans or the actual winning of the lawsuit.
Yeah, either way, she's winning though. Like, and like you said, David Blunt is the first person that I thought of when I saw this, and I think they low key are both from Detroit. That doesn't really matter. But speaking of rappers, I want to talk about this: rappers versus streamers. Who are the new pop stars in today's time? And I had to really think about it. Did you see Speed become the mayor of Peru for what was it, an hour? And
No,
how
I did not see that.
yo, they were like almost 10,000 people out there chanting his name. Speed, 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 speed. And he was barking in his speech, and he's in a whole nother country, and they're barking back like, yo, the Loki. Well, I mean, you had huge rappers like, well, you had huge pop stars, and I'll go as far as to say some of these streamers are bigger than any of the rappers have ever been. Now, when we talk about pop stars, that's a different thing. like the Michael Jacksons of the world, Beyonce's of the world. But as far as popularity, streamers have cleared rappers by 110%. And I think it's going to stay that way for at least a good 5-6 years. How do you feel about that?
Mm. What do you think? You think that's because the fact that they like the rappers or whatever do music and it's so culturally specific? I think these streamers can touch a big group of people without it being so specific, their race and whatever. Like it's a part of them. You know what I'm saying? So like this guy Speed can reach more people than a rapper because the people that watch him not only don't only listen to rap music. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing too, is like the reach that these people have. I didn't know about the whole Peru thing. I didn't know that his reach was that big to be able to. You said he was the mayor or something like that.
Yeah, the mayor of Peru for like an hour.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, just how like we talk about legacy media changing from the journalists, the old school journalists, the news reporters to podcasters, and we're gonna get into that too, talking about Trump's new press secretary, saying that they're opening their media to podcasters and social media influencers at the White House now. Um, but just like that, how that changes with media, so does it with music, man. I mean, or just entertainment. You wouldn't think, we would never think 10, 20 years ago that people would get entertainment in just watching people watch things, watching people look at like communicating online. But I mean, it's the biggest thing ever. And I just feel like as time goes on, don't be the guy, like don't be the old guy who can't adapt to things. Like it's the new way of communicating. It's the new way of doing things. And just like how a lot of those rappers get on those streamers or get on those streams because they realize that the record companies realize that it's just the new wave, man. But what I think is cool, or I don't know if you saw the thing with academics, but what do you think about like just that, like the idea of the labels and the streamers working together to kind of push certain things because they know that this is like the where the eyes are.
I mean, it's the same thing that's been happening with traditional media, like the labels working with the radio stations, the labels working with BT for 106 and Park. Like these are all things that have been happening. So I just feel like now, and the real reason, go back to your question of why I think streamers are bigger than rappers, I don't even think it necessarily has to do with the genre of music. I think it has to do with the authenticity of like being who they are. Now, of course, there's still like personalities as well, and they hype themselves up a little bit more. But because they're on stream for hours at a time, you get to see their life like
Who
every
is
single
watching
day.
that shit though? Who is watching that shit for hours at a time, bro?
I
Like
mean, it's not. We're not the demo. We're not the demo.
it
Like
gotta be
that's
NPC. But NPC kids, they just sitting there watching. They don't go outside. They sitting there
yeah. They
watching
don't got
other
shit to
motherfuckers
do.
have fun. They have something to do. They can find something to do.
Hey man, but yeah, that's what it is though. Like, and I think that's what it comes from is like being able to like say that you really like know somebody because I do know what you ate for breakfast. I do know how you sleep. I do know if you snore or not. Like by not even being with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think that's where it comes from. But also, as far as the labels working with like these content creators to like review albums and things like that, and they give their honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like what I like is that they don't try to make streamers say they like every song. Like give a real review because then the fans can like also read through that. And I think that we're getting out of the era of force feeding.
Mhm.
It's too hard to do now. You can't force feed anymore.
Right.
People are and the consumers are picking what they like and keeping it. So how do you feel about that topic?
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, going back to the record company thing, and we talked about this like a couple, maybe like last week, the Playboy, the Black Boy Max thing. I like looking back at that. I think that was a stunt from the record company or whatever to be able to drum up some type of because he put out a song that was that was called the streamer's name, and then it was just too many coincidences for him. So I'm like, so now I'm looking back like, okay, all right, like I see what y'all doing, and it's cool because like you said, they've been pulling this play since they've been doing it with the radio, they was doing it with TV, they was doing it with whatever, but it's just interesting to see. Anything left on that? Because I have a this week in AI that I really want to
Nah, let's jump
get
into
into.
that.
Okay, this week in AI, we haven't done this in a while, but okay. So you know how we always talk about ChatGPT as as the leading AI language model here in the United States. Well, China has come up with their own AI model from a private company in China called DeepSeek, and DeepSeek really has been taking the AI world by storm. By I would say being it claims to be kind of faster than ChatGPT. So because of this, Trump has acknowledged this app because a lot of people are going to it. I went over on DeepSeek. It's on the App Store. You can download it. It's just like ChatGPT. It goes a little bit more into detail. Honestly, the only thing I don't like about it is the fact that it doesn't read out to you. Like ChatGPT, you can listen to it. You can kind of talk back to it. But the difference is that this to create this app costs so much less money in China than it did than OpenAI uses for ChatGPT. So Trump basically is calling on all Americans, the smartest, the most genius of Americans, to be able to kind of match the innovation that China has come up with. Not only with just this AI model, but just the fact that it didn't cost that much money. It was a private group. They didn't need government funding like how OpenAI does. And a lot of these things, kind of go into the speed into which these innovations happen. So, looking to America to kind of be the ones to push it because, as they did with TikTok, we don't really want, or they don't, the government doesn't really want a lot of interference with Chinese apps or any other apps that aren't American. But I would say a quick comparison between DeepSeek and ChatGPT is uh let's see, bias and censorship. um DeepSeek aligns with the Chinese regulations. Creativity, ChatGPT excels more in creative writing, but DeepSeek is more structured, and it prioritizes accuracy a little bit more. I can tell that when I put the same topics in both, and
Hmm.
DeepSeek gave me a way more fleshed out answer, kind of asking me why do I'm thinking like this, kind of more than ChatGPT that's kind of like just going with the flow. So yeah, just this week of AI, we just tell you that so you can sound smart when you're talking to your friends. So now you can bring up DeepSeek and know what you're talking about.
DeepSeek is the app, right?
DeepSeek. Yes, yes.
DeepSeek. All right, bet. I think I'm gonna tapping with that. I use Chat GPT daily. Um,
Man,
yeah.
isn't
Now,
this so crazy, bro? I saw a tweet that said, won't y'all have an original thought and stop using Chat GPT? I'm like, man, look,
for what?
Chat GPT is what I prayed for when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I wanted Chat GPT so bad. I was like, bro, if there has to be something that you can do, it has to be like something. And it came out. So I use it. I feel like if you work an office job or something like that, it's the best. If you have to respond to emails, anything like, and that's also kind of scary because you'd be like, damn, like this shit, like I could put my tax return shit in Chat GPT and it'll give me, okay, well, this is probably how much it'll do my taxes. It's like,
Oh, for real?
I'm sure you don't think it can. You don't think that you can put everything in Chat GPT or DeepSeek and it can do your taxes in 45 seconds more than I do think so. And if it doesn't, give it a couple days, it'll figure it out. So we always talk about how fast these innovations are, but we just want to make sure that you guys are at least kept up to date, at least with what these things are.
Nah, for real. I rock with that. What was I about to get into? I feel like I touched on this. I'm not really sure if I did or didn't. Um, Learning the difference between like being able to keep relationships platonic off of people that you find attractive. I did I talk about that last week? I can't
Mm-mm.
remember.
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so being at the age of 26, the frontal lobe developed, like we like to say, and all of that good shit. Um, Finally like talking to friends and realizing that like everybody that they come across, men or women, like you don't have to find on a romantic level, and identifying that early enough to understand and put and think with your head, and think with your emotions, and being like, okay, I know what type of person I am, I know what type of person you are. Let me not try to change you, but let me go ahead and just keep that relationship where it is without even crossing that boundary or that line. To even attempt to waste time doing that. Because
Right.
I feel like at this age, we know what we like and
Yeah.
we don't like.
Right.
And there's certain things that are non-negotiable at this point that you've been through enough that you should be able to tell yourself that nobody else has to tell you. How do
Yeah.
you feel
I
about
think
that?
that's what it is. It's wasting time. Like after a while, man. Look, he didn't want to say it as clear as I'm about to say it. Chasing pussy takes a long time. All right. And if you realize that after a while, you realize, okay, well, look, it's more important for me to actually set myself up in life, rather than to feel cool because I fucked this girl. And then once you're done, you're like, oh damn, like this girl's pretty cool. Now I done fucked her. Now like it's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like now I have to put you in this kind of category. It may be hard to work with you. And that may not even be, you may be cheated. That may not be your man. You know what I'm saying? You may not even have something serious that you're planning on doing with this girl or whatever. So really, it really just be a waste of time. You'd be like, damn, I could have actually built with this person. And you know what I'm saying? Because if you meet somebody that you think is attractive, maybe at work or something like that, right? And you start talking to them, you go like, damn, this person's cool. It don't, like you said, it don't necessarily always got to be romantic. And that's something that you have to, as a guy, you have to really understand. Like you said, once you stop thinking so horny all the time, you realize like, okay, yeah, I can benefit from women more than just fucking them. I can benefit from women, you know what I'm saying? I can benefit, but see, that is as you grow up, you realize, okay, there's value in women more than just sex. There's value in women, like they have their own values that we have been overlooking this whole time because we wanted to fuck them. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
And
Like,
yeah, like you said, like the time, man, chasing pussy just take too much time, bro. Like you just gotta be like,
yeah,
look, bro, this ain't gonna work. You can be my homegirl and shit, but I ain't like you the girl, just not for me. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like and being able to stand on that and not like even if the girl is like with the shit,
And I
kind of
used to
got
be like, my whole thing was, I used to be okay. Once I got past that, I'm talking about like 2 years ago, whatever. I'm like, okay, well, how about this? How about I can still fuck him? I just don't want to do no work, right?
right, I'm
And
gonna tell
even
you that.
that, and right, because even that is an illusion. Because you're gonna have to do something like after a while. You can't just be fucking on somebody and just be like, I don't care how detached you think that you are from the act of intercourse or whatever, but if you fuck somebody more than 3 or 4 times, I mean, it's not gonna you're gonna have a connection with them. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Oh,
gonna
for
be
sure.
harder. It's gonna be harder to treat them as if you didn't. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But as you get older, I think, but that's just coming in the value that you realize with people. Like you start to meet people that you don't like. College did that for me too, where you just meet. I mean, you can't fuck every girl you meet at college, so you start to be like, oh wow, this girl's pretty cool. Like you start to realize like, okay, you know. But yeah, it's yeah. Once you get in the workplace and you start to have relationships with people who are married and things like that, it's like, come on now, you can't be horny all the time. You can't be thinking with your dick all the time. Oh, you thinking about your secretary because it's like shit like that. But you got to be able to detach um your desires from like actual real life and what people, you know what I'm saying, actually think.
I agree.
Hell yeah, man. I don't have a better days to come. If anything, guys, just keep your head up. It's the rent is due tomorrow.
Yep.
um, we love you guys. You have anything?
Putting them bills on auto pay. Nah, because
Auto
I
pay. That was one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten. Was auto pay, so you don't have to worry about it. Because if you're
nah.
thinking about it, it's too late.
That was a good better days to come. No cap.
We appreciate you guys for listening to another episode of CDK Horatio. You can follow me on all social media at Horatio Radio.
Follow me at CDK on the mic, no matter where you are in the world, man. We appreciate you as always for listening and staying up to date with us.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you guys. See you guys next week. Peace.